Yo, 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 what's up, man? It's your boy, Suicide age 29. Back with another video, alright? Now, we're going to talk about domestic violence, alright? That's a serious topic. Excuse me, man, I don't know what's going on right now. Anyway, weather going crazy out here in Las Vegas, man. Hot, cold. It's messing your boy all the way up. Anyway, alright, domestic violence is a serious topic, man. Alright, and it's happening at a crazy rapid rate. And the females deal with it just as males deal with it. But we're going to talk about the females right now. Alright, we're going to talk about the females being in the domestic dispute, or, a domestic violence situation or relationship. And we're going to talk about the signs and, and the things you should look for, and a lot of things you should do and should not do when being in this situation. Alright? So we're going to talk about that. We're going to definitely talk about that. Alright, so let's get into it. It's this article I got right now. Okay. And it's what's this article name right here? Okay, Mayo Clinic. So shout out to mayoclinic.org. Okay. That's where I came from. Alright, now let's talk about it. Domestic violence against women. Recognize patterns, seek help. Okay, you're going to need to know that. You got to learn the patterns. Every person is different, but there's similarities also when it comes to certain situations or anything like that. So you're going to need to understand and recognize the signs so you can, maneuver. You got to learn how to play defense. So when you see something coming, like deja vu, or you have a foresight of something, you can be on guard easier. All right. So understand that. Recognize the patterns and seek help. All right. Your partner apologizes. Oh yeah, my bad. Domestic violence is a serious threat for many women. Know the signs of abuse, relationships, and how to leave a dangerous situation. Okay, we're gonna talk about that because that's very key. All right, recognizing the signs, and knowing how to leave. You definitely need to learn that. Okay, because that's a hard thing when you really love someone and you care for someone. You want things to work, so it's very hard for you to leave, and they know that. The person that's doing the abuse know that you love and care for them, so it's easy for them to keep on doing stuff because they know you're not going to leave. Okay, now let's get to the article. Your partner apologizes and says the hurtful behavior won't happen again. That's a fact. That's a repetitive thing, but you fear it will. At times you wonder whether you're imagining the abuse, and yet the emotional or physical pain you feel is real. If this sounds familiar, you might be experiencing domestic violence. Okay? Recognizing domestic violence. Domestic violence, also called intimate partner violence, occurs between people in an intimate relationship. Domestic violence can take many forms, including emotional, sexual, and physical abuse and threats of abuse. Men are sometimes abused by partners, but domestic violence is most often directed toward women. Domestic violence can happen in heterosexual or same-sex relationships. And I told you that in the beginning. We deal with it too, but mostly women. You know that. Let's keep it going. Abusive relationships always involve an imbalance of power and control. An abuser uses intimidating, hurtful words and behaviors to control his or her partner. Y'all know that. That's one of the main characteristics. It might not be easy to identify domestic violence at first. While some relationships are clearly abusive from the outset, abuse often starts subtly and gets worse every time. You might be experiencing domestic violence if you're in a relationship with someone who, now let's run it down. 1. Calls you names, insults you, or puts you down. 2. prevents or discourages you from going to work or school or seeing family members or friends. That's a real big one right there. Number 2 is a real big one. You know that. Let's read that again. Prevents or discourages you from going to work or school or family or friends. Remember that. Okay, 3, tries to control how you spend money, where you go, what medicines you take, or what you wear. 4, acts jealous or possessive or constantly accuses you of being unfaithful. 5, gets angry when drinking alcohol or using drugs. 6, threatens you with violence or a weapon. 7, hits, kicks, shoves, slaps, chokes, or otherwise hurts you, your children, or pets. What is that? 1, 2, 3. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 8, forces you to have sex or engage in sexual acts against your will. Wait, hold on, I'm missing count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. 9, blames you for his or her violent behavior or tells you that you deserve it. Okay? You deserve it. If you're a lesbian, bisexual, or transgender, you might also be experiencing domestic violence if you're in a relationship with someone who. Okay, that was that one. Okay, so that was 9 of those. Now, we're going to start. This is a new one. If you are a lesbian, pay attention to all my bisexuals or transgenders or lesbians. This is for you. Pay attention. Now we're going to talk about how you guys get domestic violence. Okay, so if you're a lesbian, bisexual, or transgender, you might also be experiencing domestic violence if you are in a relationship with who? Someone who? 1, okay? First, number 1, threatens to tell friends, family, or colleagues, or community members your sexual orientation or gender identity. 2, tells you that authorities won't help a lesbian, bisexual, or transgender person. 3, tells you that leaving the relationship means you are admitting that lesbian, bisexual, or transgender relationships are deviant. 4, says women can't be violent. 5, justifies abuse by telling you that you are not really lesbian, bisexual, or transgender. Okay? Now, pregnancy, children, family members, and domestic violence. Listen to this. Sometimes domestic violence begins or increases during a pregnancy, putting your health and the baby's health at risk. The danger continues after the baby is born. Even if your child isn't abused, simply witness domestic violence can be harmful. Children who grow up in abusive homes are more likely to abuse and have behavioral problems than are other children. As adults, they're more likely to become abusers or As adults, they're more likely to become abusers or think abuse is a normal part of relationships. You might worry that telling the truth will further endanger you, your child, or other family members, and that it might break up your family. But seeking help is the best way to protect yourself and your loved ones. Break the cycle, all right, everybody, from all ethnicities, from all walks of life, every situation. This is for you. Learn how to break the cycle. If you're in an abusive situation, you might recognize this pattern. Your abuser threatens violence. Okay? Your abuser threatens violence. Your abuser strikes. Your abuser apologizes, promises to change, and offer gifts. The cycle repeats itself. Okay? The longer you stay in an abusive relationship, the greater the physical and emotional toll. You might become depressed and anxious, or begin to doubt your ability to take care of yourself. You might feel helpless or paralyzed. You may also wonder if the abuse is your fault. A common point of confusion among survivors of domestic abuse that may have it more difficult to seek help. Don't take the blame, okay? Y'all hear this? Pay attention. You may not be ready to seek help because you believe you're at least partially to blame to the abuse in the relationship. Reasons may include, pay attention. Reason 1. Your partner blames you for violence in your relationship. Abusive partners rarely take responsibility for their actions. 2. Your partner only exhibits abusive behavior with you. Woo! Whoa, whoa. God damn. Man, I've been in some of those. Okay? I've been with some females where I physically and I see. Okay, I can see that when it comes to me, it's all different, man. And she ain't been hitting me, but you know, the demeanor and all of that is different. But when it's them, they get away with a whole bunch of stuff. But when it's me, it's World War III. You know, my baby boy shit. Huh? It was all cool, mama, when it was, you know, it was all cool when it was me. You know what I'm saying? But it's cool when Melvin fess up to it. When it was me, it was World War III. But since Melvin fess up to it, it's all cool now. I'm on my baby boy shit. You know what I'm saying? That's how I be feeling. Anyway, let's keep it going. Okay? Your partner only exhibits abusive behavior with you. Abusers are often concerned with outward appearances, and many appear charming and stable to those outside of your relationship. This may cause you to believe that that his or her actions can only be explained by something you've done. Therapists and doctors who see you alone or with your partner haven't detected a problem. If you haven't told your doctor or other healthcare providers about the abuse, they may only take note of unhealthy patterns in your thinking or behavior, which can lead to misdiagnosis. For example, survivors of intimate partner violence may develop symptoms that resemble personality disorders. Exposure to intimate partner violence also increases your risk of mental health conditions such as depression, anxiety, and post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. Y'all know about that. If healthcare providers focus on your symptoms, this may worsen your fear that you are responsible for the abuse in your relationship. Okay? You acted out verbally, physically against your abuser. Yelling, pushing, or hitting him or her during conflicts. You may worry that you are abusive, but it's much more likely that you acted in self-defense or intense emotional distress. Your abuser may use such incidents to manipulate you, describing them as proof that you are the abusive partner. If you are having trouble identifying what's happening, take a step back and look at the large patterns in your relationship. Okay? Then review the signs of domestic violence. In an abusive relationship, the person who routinely uses these behaviors is the abuser. This person on the receiving end is being abused. Unique challenges. If you're an immigrant, you might be hesitant to seek help out of fear that you will be deported. Language barriers, lack of economic dependence, and limited social support can increase your isolation and your ability to access resources. Laws in the United States guarantee protection from domestic abuse, regardless of your immigrant status. Free or low-cost resources are available, including lawyers, shelter, and medical care for you and your children. You may also be eligible for legal protection that allow immigrants and who experience domestic violence to stay in the United States. Call all national domestic violence hotlines for guidance. These services are free and protect your privacy. If you're an older woman, you may face challenges related to your age and the length of your relationship. You may have grown up in a time where domestic violence was simply not discussed. You or your partner may have health problems that increase your dependency on self and responsibility. If you're in the same-sex relationship, you might be less likely to seek help after an insult if you don't want to disclose your sexual orientation. If you've even been sexually assaulted by another woman, you might also fear that you won't be believed. Still, the only way to break the cycle of domestic violence is to take action. Start by telling someone about the abuse, whether it's a friend, loved one, healthcare provider, or other close contact. You can also call a national domestic violence hotline. At first, you might find it hard to talk about the abuse. You might understand that you are not alone, or there are experts who can help you. You'll also likely feel relief and receive much needed support. Create a safety plan. Leaving an abuser can be dangerous. Consider taking these precautions. 1. Call a women's shelter or domestic violence hotline for advice. Make the call at a safe time when the abuser isn't around or from a friend's house or other safe location. 2. Pack an emergency bag that includes itself needed when you leave, such as extra clothes and keys. Leave the bag in a safe place. Keep important personal papers, money, and prescription medications handy so that you can take them with you on the short notice. 4. Know exactly where you go and how you'll get there. Protect your communication and location. An abuser can use technology to monitor your phone and online communication and track your location. If you're concerned for your safety, seek help to maintain your privacy. Okay? 1. Use phone cautiously. Your abuser might intercept calls and listen to your conversation. He or she might use caller ID. Check your cell phone. Check your cell phone or search your phone billing records to see your call and text history. 2. Use your home computer cautiously. Your abuser might use spyware to monitor your emails and the websites you visit. Consider using a computer at work, the library, or at friend's house to seek help. Remove 4? No, it's 3. Yeah, 3. Remove GPS from your vehicle. Your abuser might use a GPS device to point out your location. 4. Frequently change your email password. Choose passwords that would be impossible for your abuser to guess. 5. Clear your viewing history. Follow your browser instructions to clear any record or website or graphics you've viewed. Where to find help. An emergency, call 911 or your local emergency number or law enforcement agency. The following resources can help. 1. Someone you trust. Turn to a friend, loved one, neighbor, co-worker, or religious or spiritual advisor to support. Where we at? Okay. 2. National Domestic Violence Hotline, 800-799-SAFE. Okay. Call the hotline for crisis intervention and referrals to resources such as women's shelters. 3. Your health care provider. Doctors and nurses will treat injuries and can refer you to safe housing and other local resources. 4. A local women's shelter or crisis center. Shelters and crisis centers typically provide 24-hour emergency shelter as well as advice on legal matters and advocacy and support services. 5. A counseling or mental health center. Counseling and support groups for women in abuse relationships are available in most communities. 6. A local court. Your district court can help you obtain a restraining order that legally mandates the abuser to stay away from you or face arrest. Local advocates might be available to help guide you through the process. It can be hard to recognize or admit that you're in an abusive relationship, but help is available. Remember, no one deserves to be abused. Okay? No one deserves that. All right? So for all my women out there, and my men, just know, but specifically women, just know, man, you're not alone. Okay? Don't ever think you're alone in this world when it comes to abuse. All right? Seek help no matter what. Transgenders, bisexuals, and lesbians, understand you might not want people to know your sexuality, but you got to put it out there. Abuse to anyone is wrong. Okay? All right? You don't like someone's sexual preference? Yeah, that's their life. There's no reason for you to tease them and bully them. I know what it says in the Bible. I know that. Trust me, I know. All right? It says it's an abomination if the same sex. Yeah, we get that. But let those people deal with what they need to deal with. It's not for you. It's not for you to put them and kill them and bury them. Let them deal with their own thing. If that's what you believe, let them live their own life. They got to deal with whatever they got to deal with. It's not up to a single person to try to take them out. All right? And single women, this is for you too. Learn. Don't take the blame game, man. If it's not you, find a way out. Home, friends, co-workers, like they say. Find ways where they can't track you. Let somebody know, man. Okay? You rather be alive and tell your story than have somebody else tell your story for you. I'm going to say that one more time before I go, women. You rather be alive to tell your own story than be gone and somebody got to tell your story for you. All right? It's your boy Suicide Age 29, Mr. Sisterhood. Talk to your soul mirror, the balance keeper, no one safe, poking the people. All right, anti-bully gang, silverback gang. All right? Like the video, share the video, dislike the video, leave your comments below. Let me know, have you ever been in an abusive relationship, man or woman, but mostly women. All right? Let's talk about it. Let's do a live stream. Hit me up so we can do a live stream on it. And we can have a panel and a call in to talk about it, because this is a real situation. All right, ladies? I love y'all to death, man. It's Mr. Sisterhood. I see y'all next video, man. All right? Lee love the ladies. Lady loves Lee. And ladies, you are definitely lovely. Don't chase the light. Let the light chase you. I am